This is Greg Vine, and I'm bringing to you a story of an urban forest, the creation of an urban forest in Venice, Florida, a beautiful place to live, work, and play. And we're coming through the gateway, the entranceway to the phase one of the urban forest, which was begun in April of 2018, the actual physical planting of trees. If you can visualize in front of you that this was a barren wasteland 2.5 years ago or thereabouts, to where today we now have literally thousands of trees and many thousands of understory plantings in place. What we're cruising through right now is an area of poor man's pepper. It is an herbaceous plant, and it's a native wild plant. It's a weed in many homescapes, but in the forest it's an essential plant. And if you look carefully, you'll see some white little butterflies skittering around. Now, these are white sulfur butterflies, and they are there literally by the thousands. And hopefully we'll get you some close photos on another trip through the forest. All these trees you see are newly planted by VABI, Venice Area Beautification Inc., and their subcommittee, the Venice Urban Forest Committee, of which me, Greg Vine, is the chairman of. But this is not Greg Vine's project. This is a community project. This project is being funded by donations from across the community, across the foundations, which is being created with the help of the Sarasota County government providing the land resources, the City of Venice providing the reuse water resources so that we have great establishment periods to restart trees. Because as you can see, we plant full-scale trees. And that's hard to do and can maintain a high survival rate. And to this day, we've only lost a very few trees. I think it's 3 or 4 trees in total across a spectrum of over 1,500 trees. And that's pretty unheard of in the landscaping and long-term installation business. So we're very happy the city's involved, the county's involved. Many citizens are involved in this project. I want to tell you, look straight ahead and to your right. If you'll see, there is a dead tree. And a lot of people talk about dead trees. And then we're going to go cut that tree down. And we'll have to use it as an educational moment for everyone to realize that that dead tree is a snag. And a snag is a very important resource. In fact, we call them sentinel trees because that's where the raptors will roost and set up to watch for prey. Frequently, you'll see eagles in these snags that we have throughout the forest. Many times you will see the osprey up there eating a fish. We just recently had ospreys sitting in the top of the snag, and they were actually hunting for nesting materials and bringing them back to their nests they were building. So we're learning a lot about Mother Nature as we build this urban forest. What we're going through now is one of our butterfly gardens. This is called the Water View Butterfly Garden. It's right up against the Intercoastal Waterway, and you'll see here in a moment another angle. But it's specifically designed for intensive butterfly habitat and management, and it's working fabulously. But I would also like to point out that the entire forest is a butterfly garden. Any given day, on any given stroll through the forest, you will see multiple types of pollinators, of which butterflies are one of the groups that are there in force. I'd like to tell you that we also run right straight along the Venetian Waterway Trail, or the VWP, the Venetian Waterway Park, there along the Intercoastal Waterway that you see in front of you. So as an access point, if you come down on your bicycles or walkway or skateboard or whatever, you can come along the urban forest, which is just that. It's not a park. It is a forest being created to put back what man has taken away. This used to be a railroad corridor for the last 97 years. It's now vacated, and we have taken it over as a part of a trail and a reforestation effort to provide habitat for wildlife, the birds and the bees, if you will. And speaking of the birds, here's a bird's eye view. As we travel along, now we're going north from the south end of the forest. We're going north back towards the entryway. And there, between those buildings to your right and the intercoastal to your left, This was a whole lot of nothing except Brazilian peppers, lead trees, and other very invasive stuff. We removed the invasive stuff and we've put back what you're looking at now. It's a pretty outstanding project, don't you think? To be able to provide homes and habitat for Mother Nature right here in Venice. We've done such a good job of it, we now have a mama bobcat and two cubs in residence in the southern end of the forest. We also have a burrowing owl. We know we have more, but we have found and we see and we've marked off his denning area for a burrowing owl. So we have wildlife coming in. We had wild turkeys here for the last 2 years during the season. They come in to eat certain kinds of berries that they've discovered are in our forest. They like it. We also designed this forest and are designing this forest because it will never be completely finished. We're always going to be adding special plants and special trees here and there as we can. But one thing we learned that there's a very huge need for is habitat and stopover places for the migrating neotropical songbirds of the land, meaning little birds that travel all the way from way up north to all the way down south, both in Florida, down to Mexico, down to Cuba, down to Central America, down to South America. It's pretty cool when you start learning about them. But as they come along the coast in the Gulf, that's their flyway because it's easy flying. But they're always looking for a place to stay for the night, to rest up, to be overnighted, to refuel, if you will, get some food, get some water, get some rest. And so they're flying along the coast. And they're always looking for a place to stay, and they need it to be within a mile of the coast. That's sort of an unwritten bird law, I guess. But the birds like to look. Well, as you can imagine, along the Gulf Coast, their habitat is disappearing rapidly. So we're providing, because this forest happens to be exactly 1 mile from the Gulf of Mexico. And as a bird flies, in some places it's closer than 1 mile to the Gulf of Mexico, as close as even maybe a half a mile down by Casperson Beach. And what that is doing is as these birds fly in, they look for cover and they duck in and come in, and they're looking, as I put it, for the Holiday Inn, and we're providing the Radisson Inn for them. And they're happy about finding what they find here because now they've come back 2 seasons in a row. And how do we know that? It's with Audubon's help. Audubon has come through here and documented our bird population. And originally they did a baseline count when we started just before April of 2018. And that bird count produced a grand total of 12 species. Today, we now have over 86 species identified and many thousands, underline for you, thousands of individual birds. So those migrating birds, I call them, are original snowbirds. So those of you that are used to coming to Florida as snowbirds, if you were a bird, we've got a place for you. Please come by and visit the urban forest and bring your camera, because we are becoming a bird watcher's paradise. Thank you for watching, and you also may donate to this wonderful cause by going to our website, which is veniceurbanforest.com, and search to your heart's content, but please on the first page, click the donate button and send us some money. Send us $10 or send us 10 million. We will be grand stewards of the money and take good care of putting it to wonderful environmental use here in Venice, Florida. VABI's been in business. It's a nonprofit 501c3 for over 32 years. And I am proud that myself and a smattering of other community citizens have been with this organization for all of those 32 years. Some people get to retire, but I consider living in Venice a lifestyle, not a retirement. Thanks again for watching. Come see us.